Hello and welcome to Made with Carlenergy. This is episode 7. I'm Carlene. You can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Carlenergy. I have a podcast group on Ravelry called the Made with Carlenergy podcast group. And there is a blog where I have been completely lazy about posting show notes. That is carlenergy.blogspot.com. And I didn't post show notes from last week's episode, and I'm kind of rethinking the type of format and platform that I want to post show notes on. So I'm sorry about that, but there is somewhat of an archive of past episodes on that blog. Today is October 11th, Sunday, and it is actually about 7:30 in the evening. I'm recording a little bit later than I usually do, but I wanted to put an episode out there before next week because next weekend is Rhinebeck, so I will obviously be very preoccupied with that, and I don't think I'll get a chance to record an episode, but I do plan on taking a lot of photos and hopefully some video clips while I'm there. I'm taking a workshop on Friday, and then I will be shopping and seeing all the animals and all of the fibery goodness all weekend. So, and one of the things I'm most excited for is to meet a bunch of other podcasters and hopefully meet some viewers. And I just can't believe it's next weekend already. It's just so exciting. I've been planning the trip since I think early summer. I think I made my Airbnb reservations or I think I made them in June. So, yay, it's finally here. I'm so pumped. So today I have a little bit of progress on whips to show you, and I have some fantastic mail that I got this week. And my parakeet, the dude, he is out of his cage. He's hanging out on top of his cage right now. I don't know if he's going to come over and say hello at any point, but I'm sure you hear him chattering in the background as usual. So last week I had shown you that I had just about finished my bellows cardigan. It was all seamed together. I just needed to add the buttons and knit on the pockets. So I did side seam pockets, and I have to pick up stitches around the pocket facings and knit pockets. I haven't done that yet, which is not great. I really need to get to that, but I did sew the buttons on. And this is how they look. So I did 5 buttons. The pattern calls for, this is the Bellows Cardigan by Michelle Wong, and the pattern calls for 4 buttons that are 1.5 inches wide, but I found these buttons that I really liked that are only 1 inch wide, so I adjusted the buttonholes to fit 5 buttons in, and they're really beautiful. They have this stone inlay in them, which matches up really well to the yarn colors that I used. Yeah, I think they go with it really well. They're very subtle, I think, from a distance, but then they're just really beautiful up close, and I do like that. I like that they're pretty fancy, but they're not overwhelming. I like that they do kind of blend nicely with the yarn, so I'm really happy with these. I think they look really nice. And yeah, so I did not do my pockets. They are still just little hand placement holes, I guess. I don't know. And I've worn this cardigan a lot this past week, and I will tell you that there's been moments where I've almost put my keys or my phone into the pocket and then remembered that there isn't a pocket there yet. So I really got to fix that before Rhinebeck, obviously, because I do want to have my pockets while I'm walking around the festival. But I am still very pleased with how they came out. I think they look good from the outside. So yeah, there'll be pockets very soon. And I'm going to knit the pockets with just as this is Brooklyn Tweed Shelter yarn held double. and I'm just going to use a single strand of it for the pockets, and I'm going to knit the pockets on a much smaller needle. I'm not sure quite what size yet. Maybe a 5, because I want the fabric to be really you know, a little bit more dense with not too much space between the stitches, since it is going to be a pocket, and I want to, yeah, just make sure that they're not too loose. So I will do that this week. I will add the pockets. I don't want to go to Rhinebeck with no pockets. And the other thing I did, which I was just working on this right before I started recording, I did pick up stitches for one armhole and then sew one side of my Azalea tank top. So that was good. I'm glad that I finally picked this up again. It's been almost finished for a couple weeks now, and I just haven't seamed it yet. So what I did tonight was I had to pick up stitches. You have to pick up stitches all along the armhole and the strap, and add a few more rows, and then seam the side. So you can tell that this strap is a little bit thicker than this one, since I did pick up all the stitches to make a nice neat armhole. So I think that came out pretty neat and clean. I redid it. I had picked them all up and started knitting, and one of the sides was a little gappy, so I decided to redo it. And it's not really perfect, but I feel like when you pick up stitches, it's like always kind of not a perfect science. You kind of have to fudge things a little bit when you have an awkward edge like this. I think this, let's see, yeah, I think this is the front side, so I think the front side came out a little bit better than the back side, which is good. And then I seamed up the side. And what's really nice is the way that the pattern works out. I don't know if let's see if I can show you, but the seam blends seamlessly into the pattern. So you can kind of see where the seam is coming down here, and then yeah, there's a line of seaming in between down the center of this leaf. So once you seam the two sides together, it forms another leaf. And yes, that's very satisfying. It was very satisfying while I was seaming it, and I realized that, you know, this was going to match up so that it becomes just part of the pattern. Yeah, you can kind of see it there where the line of the seam just turns into the leaves. So yeah, and I've put this on before, but I put it on with one seam, or one side all seamed up, and it looks like it is going to fit really nicely. So I'm really excited. I do have a whole bunch of ends to weave in still, and obviously I have to finish the other side. But this side didn't really take me that long to do all this, so I might even try to finish that tonight. Because I do want to wear this to Rhinebeck as a layer under a flannel shirt, I think. And then I'll have my cardigan if it's chilly. So I think that would be nice if I had this, and then a flannel shirt to wear over that if it's like a nice warmish day, and then I can put my cardigan on if it is a little bit chillier. So I feel really good about this. I think this is going to be done by Rhinebeck, and that's awesome. So this is the Azalea tank top by Pam Allen. It's a pattern published by Quince & Company, and it calls for their Quince & Co. Sparrow yarn, which is 100% linen, but I used a yarn called Gilsk. That's the yarn company. It's a wool and cotton blend, sport weight yarn, and I really like the fabric that it made. It's really comfortable and soft, and I love this color. It's like a sage green. So that's that. And then I did finish a sock this week that I had shown you on the needles in last episode. This is in Barocco Socks, spelled S-O-X, and it's colorway 1425, I think. And your basic 75% superwash, 25% nylon blend, and I did a plain vanilla sock with a 2x2 rib cuff and a slip stitch heel flap and turn and a rounded toe. And this was 64 stitches on a US size 1 or a 2.25 millimeter needle. So happy with one down and pretty good progress on the second sock. I didn't bother to try to make these match up completely this time. I don't know. I was being lazy, didn't feel like it. And, I mean, this might be delusional, but I think I could get these done by Rhinebeck too, if I really put in a lot of knitting time on these on the evenings this week. So, might have a new pair of socks for Rhinebeck. And then I'd really have a very knitted outfit if I could do my sweater, my tank top, and my socks, and probably the scarf. I definitely plan on having this with me in Rhinebeck. This is the Hitchhiker by Martina Bem. I'm sure you've seen it. It's a very popular pattern. And this is my hand spun. So I spun this yarn for Kristen of the Yarngasm podcast, Drop Spindle and Knit Along. So her D-Spackle, which was from January to April, I believe, of this year. And it was basically the first big spinning project I had taken on. And the whole goal was to spin enough fiber to have enough yarn to knit a shawl or a scarf. Ooh, I feel like I'm gonna sneeze. I'm gonna try to avoid it. Okay. So yes, I spun a loop bump, as I do, because it seems like all I ever do is spin loop bumps. And this was, the colorway was called Imperial Harp, which I didn't know when I bought this fiber was a Valentine's Day gift. And I didn't know when I got the fiber that Imperial Harp is actually a seashell. They're common in Florida and I think the Caribbean, and it's this big, beautiful like whelk shell, and it's gold and brown and all of these colors. So it was really cool to look it up on Google and see these pictures of this beautiful shell, and the colorway matches up perfectly with how the shell looks. So so I did the Hitchhiker, and this yarn I spun it on a drop spindle and did the ply on the fly method, and it came out like a heavy fingering to sport weight. And then I knit the Hitchhiker out of it. And I added some eyelets at the beginning because I had seen some other people add eyelets to the Hitchhiker, and I really liked how it looked. But I didn't want to do the whole thing with the eyelets. I wanted some of it to be solid, so I just did some rows in the beginning with the eyelets, and then did the rest of it in the solid, like the normal pattern. So I really love this. I think the colors are just so interesting and just beautiful. I mean, they're neutral, but they're still very exciting with this mustard gold yellow popping in. So yeah, I really like this. And I actually won a prize during the D-Spackle, so I was able to finish the project before the deadline, and I had and this was like the first knit along that I've ever done too. And yeah, I ended up being drawn for a prize in the giveaway, and I got this bag of fondant fiber fuzzlings, which I've been using in my current spinning project. So that was really awesome. And I will, yeah, so I'll definitely be bringing this to Rhinebeck. I've been debating on like what scarves I want to bring, but I think I'm definitely going to bring this one for Saturday at least. because I do want to wear a handspun project. So yes, that will be coming with me. Oh, and I just wanted to say that this is my Freckled Whimsy bag, Freckled Whimsy on Etsy. I showed this last time, but I'm really enjoying using this bag, and yeah, it's really well made. I love that the handle is detachable, so I could use it on the zipper pull or on this little loop, and yes, it's just a lovely bag. Let's see. Next, well, this is really the only other work in progress right now. This is my Whitecaps cowl, which is from thepearlbee.com. And I guess I didn't really put too much progress in this, but I do want to show you the progress keeper that I have on it right now, because I'll be talking about this later. It's this beautiful delicate little arrow. So I will tell you where I got this in a few minutes. So yes, Whitecaps cowl from the Pearl Bee. This is in a Habu textiles yarn called Naramaki Slub, which is 100% cotton, and it's a thick and thin, so you get all this interesting texture. And then and that's in the khaki colorway. And then Alchemy Yarns Silk and Straw, which is 100% raw silk, and it's very crunchy. This whole thing, the longer it gets, the more I'm liking it. I really like the texture of it, and yeah, I don't think this is going to be finished by Rhinebeck. I think I can confirm that, but that's fine too, because there's no wool in this at all. So while I would like to have it at the festival, I mean it's not a wool item, so it's a knitted item, but it's not wool, so it'll just miss out on being at Rhinebeck, and I have this anyway. So not really any progress on that this week, but I did want to show you that progress keeper, because that'll come back later in the episode, as will this one that I'm using on my Freckled Whimsy bag. It's a little teacup, and it's just so cute. And I love that I can keep it on my typewriter bag, and it reminds me of sitting down to write with a cup of tea, even though I really haven't been sitting down to write at my typewriter in a very long time. But at least the feeling is there. Speaking of tea, it's really nice. I'm drinking some, I don't know how to pronounce this, but chocolate pu'er by Numi. Pu'er? I don't know. But it says ancient healing tea, velvety and smooth, and it's a blend of black tea with cocoa powder, vanilla bean, rooibos tea, cinnamon, or orange peel, and nutmeg, and it's all organic. It's very tasty. It is. It's got a nice chocolate flavor to it, and yes, very good. For spinning, I did do a little bit of spinning this week. Pretty much all of Thursday night when I got home from work, I was spinning. So that's what I have on my spindle right now. And this is still the same loop bump that I've been working on, that I've showed pretty much every episode, so I won't bring all that out again, but I'm working on a Fringe with Benefits shawl by Mindy Ross, and I've been spinning more yarn to add to it. I did show last week that I had wound off a skein from my spindle and washed it, so that's all ready to go and add to my scarf, but I didn't actually end up adding it to the scarf yet, because I've been working on other things, mostly trying to knit that pair of socks. Usually socks are like my travel project, but I've also been working on them in the evenings at home, because I do want to kind of push to have those finished for next weekend. and I am keeping my spindle project. I realized that my fawn and the fox bag is really nice for keeping a drop spindle project in, so that's where I've been keeping my spindle. And so this is from the Fawn and the Fox on Etsy, and it is made by Laura of the Fawn Knits podcast. If you haven't seen that podcast, I really highly recommend that you go check it out because Laura is just wonderful and she makes beautiful bags. Yeah, she had a lot of really cute Halloween bags. I don't know what her stock of Halloween bags is like now. I think they were selling out very fast, but they were very adorable. She was using fabrics that were very Halloween themed, but also in colors that would work kind of all year round. I really liked them, but I had to control myself. So that brings me to what I got in the mail this week. So the first thing that came, actually, I'm going to save that for last because it's just amazing. So on Friday, I got my Jimmy Beans wool beanie bag subscription. So Jimmy Beans is doing this kind of yarn club thing where it started this month, and you can sign up for either 1 month or 3 months or 6 months or a whole year, whatever you want to do. And it's a $10 a month subscription, and so you get a little bag every month with some yarn samples and some other random little notions and sampley type of things. And so I signed up for 3 months because I thought that that would be a good way for me to like continue to get fun mail, but maybe not buy yarn all the time online, just so that I would get, because I really like getting mail. I mean, obviously, we all love getting mail. So I thought this would be a good way to feel like I was getting a little bit of stash enhancement kind of thing without splurging too much. So yeah, Jimmy Beans wool beanie bags. This is actually, I think, the first time that I've ever ordered from Jimmy Beans. I know that they are a wonderful online store, but I just never have ordered them from them before. But this is kind of cool. The zipper pull on the bag has a little dolphin on it. So in my little Jimmy Beans beanie bag, I got 4 little yarn samples. So here they are. And what they've done is they have, let's see, so they've put a little paper in each sample, and it tells you what it is. Dude, quiet. Oh, yeah, that's gonna get blown out. But anyway, so this one is Lorna's Laces. Dude, that's very distracting. Chill. Just chill. Or come over here. No? Anyway, sorry about that. But this is Lorna's Laces shepherd sock, and this is the Tomfoolery colorway. 20 yards of that. So nice bright pinks and oranges. And then this one, I think I have the... This is Cascade Heritage Silk, and this is just the Real Black colorway. 20 yards of that. And I got this is a nice single ply, very pretty. This is Mrs. Crosby satchel in the Hummingbird colorway. And then this one's probably my favorite out of the colors that I got. This is Ba La Jolla in the Tequila Lime colorway, which I like that name a lot. So yeah, I think it looks like a pretty solid lime green, but I think it's, once I knit with it, I think it'll show up more tonal. Like, it does seem to me that there's kind of different depths of color in this one. And this feels really nice. I think this is definitely a yarn that I might be interested in getting more of. Well, all of these really. So these two are are fun because these are not colors that I would be drawn to in a store. So it's kind of nice to get little samples of them, and they will probably go into my sock yarn scrap blanket, and that's nice because with the sock yarns that I get all the time, I tend to get a lot of greens and blues, and I don't want the whole blanket to just be greens and blues, so it's nice to have other colors to add in. And I do really, yeah, this one's really pretty. I might have to start venturing more into the pinks and oranges. So yeah, I really like the whole presentation of this. You also get a card, hand wound with love, and yeah, you get this little tag that let me try to show you that. It tells you who wound up all your samples, so that's very thoughtful. Dude, please, you're being very loud. Shh. You want to come over? Come on. Oh, here we go. He wants to say hello, that's all. There he is. He wants some attention. Yes. You gonna be a good boy? No, you can't sing. You can't sit on the keyboard because we know that you're too loud when you do that. There we go. We'll see how well he behaves. Oh. Well, that was short-lived. So the last thing I got in this in the Jimmy Beans Club is they send you a little sticker. Dude! See? He's just not used to me recording at 7:30 at night, or 8 o'clock as it is now. Sticker, and 2 little stitch markers. This one's really pretty, this little square one. A little bead on it. And this one looks like metal, but it's plastic, but I like that it's silver. And I got 3 beautiful little mother of pearl buttons. So they're pretty small. I don't know what I'll use them for yet, but they're very pretty. Actually, I think I have an idea of why they sent the little buttons, because that might have something to do with the fact that, so they do give you ideas for patterns to use for your little yarn samples, and this month is a little knitted cuff. And I think I might make this one. I might not use any of those, but I might use some of my other scraps for this, because I do really like this. I've made knitted cuff bracelets before, but I haven't worn them in a while. I don't know what I did with them, but I do like this one, and I think it doesn't show it, but I think this one might have a button closure on the other side, so I could use my new buttons for that. So, yeah, overall thoughts on this. I do really like the bag. It's a great size bag. This is definitely, I need more notions pouches, so I'm really excited to have another bag that I can use as a notions pouch. And yeah, I like the samples that I got. I do like they're kind of colors that I wouldn't necessarily be drawn to, but that I will definitely be using for fun little squares in my sock blanket, or for the wristlets and things like that. So yeah, and so the card tells you the different employees at Jimmy Beans that picked the type of yarn that they wanted to put in the beanie bag subscription. So I think that's really nice. It's like you know, so these were all yarns they're all favorite yarns of people that work for the company. So it wasn't like they just randomly threw in some scraps of yarns that they, you know, either didn't like or that they weren't selling or something like that. Like, these are very thoughtful choices. So I thought that was really nice. So I'm excited to see what I get next month and the month after that. I only signed up for 3 months. And then, yeah, I guess depending on how I feel after the 3 months, I don't know if I'll sign up for any more. But I think it's a good value for $10 with all the samples you get, and with the nice bag and the little extra goodies. So, very nice. Thank you, Jimmy Beans. I'm sorry if my bird is being... I'm sorry if that sound is coming across really badly to you guys. He just makes that screeching noise when he kind of feels like he's, I guess, not being paid attention to enough. But I mean, he's happy enough to be out of his cage. But when he feels like I'm kind of talking to somebody else and somebody else is getting the attention, he gets a little, you know, he has an attitude. He definitely has an attitude. So the last thing I have to show you is my amazing swap package from Amber of the Yarn Junkie podcast, formerly known as Crochet Junkie. She changed her name because she hasn't been crocheting as much. She's mostly kind of been knitting mostly. But this is from Amber of Yarn Junkie. And Amber completely spoiled me. I was not expecting such a, like, look at this. This is so beautiful. I mean, I knew it was going to be beautiful no matter what, but Amber, you completely outdid yourself. Yeah, it made me so happy this week when I opened this. First of all, it's in this beautiful bag. This actually says "Love Knitting" on the ribbon. So that's really lovely. And then, so we were doing a mini skein swap, and she had wanted to give me some lobster claw progress keepers because I had mentioned on a previous episode that I didn't really have any, and I was using, I have them on my table, I was using just like old earrings where I've lost the other one of this earring set, so I've just been putting those on my projects, which I eventually want to get my own lobster claw clasps so I can turn this into a proper progress keeper. But so she gave me some progress keepers, which 2 of them you already saw on my bag and on my project. And I got all of these beautiful minis with all different textures and colors. I really like the variety that she sent me. This is probably my favorite, and there's a lot of this one, so I might do one of the little knitted cuffs with this one. And I really like this yellow. Yeah, I love them, and they're gonna look great in my blanket or whatever else I decide. Some of them are like too pretty to think about just adding a square to my blanket, but what's really exciting is that I think these are the first. This is the first mini skein swap that I've done, so these will be the first yarns that go into my sock yarn blanket that have been from somebody else and not just from my own projects. So that's really exciting, and hopefully that'll make me want to work on my blanket more. But yeah, there seems to be a lot of this one, so I think I'm going to do something different with that, and then hopefully still have some left over. But thank you for those, and I mean, like, look at this bag of goodies. Here are the stitch markers, or the progress keepers. So I have a cowboy boot and a chicken, which are perfect because they remind me of Amber. She lives in Texas and she has chickens. And the camera is really great. And then I showed you the arrow and the teacup. And then I also have a lovely owl who I've been using on my sock project to keep progress. So that's those. She sent me a bunch of teas, including this one, which I'm drinking right now. And yeah, nice variety of teas. I already drank this one too, but I wanted to keep it in there to show you. She sent me this really cute pack of Kleenex, which will be very handy for the fall. And a beautiful notebook. And this is very special. This is a postcard of Hell's Gate at Possum Kingdom Lake in Texas, and this is the lake that Amber lives on. And she wrote that this is where her and her husband got married, so that's really special. Definitely going to put this up to display somewhere on my ledge somewhere. I have this great ledge all around my living room, so it's really great for all my cards and stuff. She sent me a card with, her girls actually used celery stamps to decorate my envelope. And the card is very pretty as well. I love that color. So there's that. She sent me some alpaca sticky notes, I think. Yeah, sticky tab note things. Adorable. And this little mini bag of goodness, which is a patch from Possum Kingdom, which is the lake that she lives on, and a lip balm, which is orange cream, which was really tasty. I've used it, but I kept it in here to show you. And a Beatles button, which I love. This is I gotta open it. This is a sheep magnet. So a little clippy magnet for my fridge, and I can finally put it on my fridge because now I've shown you. Love this. And a tag for something that I make to show that it's handmade. All you need is love. So, I'm not done. There's more in here. I got some Dove chocolates. I have a big bowl. I always have a big bowl of chocolates on my coffee table because, duh, you have to. So I usually get just the plain Dove dark chocolate, but these are dark chocolate with almonds. So surprisingly, I haven't eaten any of them yet, but now I can. And last but not least, by any means, she sent me a sample of spinning fiber. And this is from, it says Kamaj Fiber Arts, soft silks in the Starry Night colorway. So I think that's the actual brand name, is that that website there. And I'm assuming, yeah, that it's silk. So it's these beautiful purples, purple, black, and white. And it's very, very lovely. Thank you so much, Amber. I can't wait to mess around with this on my spindle. It's very, very pretty. So, amazing. Totally wasn't expecting to be so spoiled. And I did send Amber her package, and I think she received it today. So, Amber, I hope you're enjoying your goodies as well. I know I am. I love the progress keepers because I really didn't have any proper progress keepers, and they've already been so helpful on my projects. And I love just clipping them on a zipper pull. I mean, it just for whatever reason, I mean, I know that you understand because you're in this same game, but I mean, it just makes us so happy, right? To like, have these little charms hanging around. And this was a great swap. I want to do more swaps. And just the fact that there's, people sending yarn back and forth to each other is beautiful, and the fact that we're all knitting these blankets where the yarn has come from all over the place, from different people making projects for themselves and for for family members. I think a lot of the yarn that I sent to Amber was actually from like the minis that I sent her. A lot of them were from projects that I made. I know I sent her some that I made socks for my mom with. And yeah, it's just really cool to know that these little scraps of yarn from my projects are going to somebody else and then ending up in these beautiful blankets that we're all making. I don't know. There's so much crap going on in the world that this is just, we're doing really cool stuff, and it makes me really happy. So, yeah, that's my philosophical moment for the night. And I think that's all I have to show you. Again, I'm going to be in Rhinebeck all weekend next weekend. I'm going to the Indie Untangled Trunk Show on Friday night, which is at the Best Western Hotel in Kingston, New York, which is very close to Rhinebeck. I think the podcaster meetup there is around 6. 6:30-ish to the end. So, and that's the Indie Untangled Trunk show is from 5 to 9. It's going to be all indie dyers. So if you can make that, that would be really awesome. I'd love to meet you there. And then I believe there is also a podcaster meetup on Saturday at Rhinebeck, and it's on the big hill where the Ravelry meetup is. And I think the Ravelry meetup is at noon, and then the podcaster meetup is going to be 1:30. And I'm sure if you watch Yarngasm, or if you watch some of the other podcasts where the podcaster is going to Rhinebeck, then you have also heard this on there. But yes, I want to try to make that meetup as well. And yeah, if you see me at Rhinebeck with my Bellows cardigan on and hopefully my Azalea tank top on as well, and my hitchhiker, those will be the markers of that this is me, and that'll be what I'm wearing. So if you do see me, please say hello. I would love to hear from you and meet you and know that you're watching. Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a really good weekend. And it's my birthday present to myself. I don't know if I've said that, but yeah, this is kind of what I'm considering as my birthday celebration. My birthday is actually the next weekend. My birthday is on the 23rd, which is the Friday after this coming Friday. But I mean, Rhinebeck is basically going to be my big birthday party for myself. So I think that sums it up for this week. Oh, I do have something else I could talk about, and it is very exciting, and it has to do with my knit along, but I'm going to wait for that. I'm going to wait to tell you until next week. So I hope you're enjoying your knitting, and I hope you had a good weekend, and I hope you have some fun things lined up for the coming week, and I will see you at Rhinebeck. Bye.